What's up, guys? It's Sam here, and I wanted to talk about the rental property. If you've been following along for a little bit of time, you know that I own a rental property, and you know that I was in the market to purchase another one a month or so ago, and I haven't posted any updates because there hasn't been a tremendous amount of updates. Hopefully there will be a lot more coming relatively soon. Got some things in the works, but I wanted to walk through how to analyze an investment property from my perspective, how I do it. And then you can see if it makes sense or if you completely disagree and you think I'm a fucking bozo. If you do think I'm a bozo, you can just keep that to yourself though, or let me know down below in the comments. Anyways, three parts: the property and the opportunity, rents and costs. And I'm gonna touch on each and every single one of those. But before I do that, there's a little red button that says subscribe. You need to fucking touch that shit and change that from red to gray or whatever color it does change to. And then when you're done, you just gently, you just tap that little bell notification until it gets those like little parentheses around it. And that means you'll get notified every time I post a video. Okay, with that being said, let's get into it. There's three components, okay? And the first one is the most important one. But they're all tied together. And if you don't know how to do this, there's plenty of YouTube videos on this. But this is how I do this, right? Okay, so property opportunity. What are you looking to do? I'm looking for this as an investment, right? So I will look at properties where I want to do one of two things or both of these things. The first is add a bedroom or maybe another bathroom. Ideally, I want, if it's like say a 3-1, I would like to be able to do both because then it would be a 4-2. Or if I can cut off part of it and make it into a studio, that's also something I like to do as well. But I've done it on one property. So remember, like, I'm giving you this perspective for what I do and taking you along the process of what I'm doing and how I'm analyzing deals, because I'm looking at them now, but I decided not to purchase in Massachusetts and to purchase in Florida. So I can also walk you through if you have any questions on what I'm doing, living in Massachusetts, purchasing a property in Florida, and the semantics associated with that in terms of the details. So I want to be able to add a room. So if I see a property, say on Zillow or something, that is, say, 1,700 square feet or 1,600 square feet, and it's at 3-1 or something like that, more than likely, just because I've looked at a lot of different properties, more than likely, I'll probably be able to add another room or something to that degree. It's not always the case, but a lot of the times, if you see something of that size and it's a 3-2 or something, you can probably add a room for a relatively low cost. So how it works is you'll add a room for this cost, but you can rent it out for this much more, so it pays for itself. It's a positive ROI situation right there. And we like positive ROI situations. The more the positive ROI situations we can get into, the better. So, whoops. And the other thing is the property that I currently have, I cut it in half essentially, and I just made it an efficiency, which in Florida that's what they call them, but it's basically a studio apartment. It's like a 500 square foot studio apartment with a kitchen and everything like that, full fridge. It's got a cooktop, not the one that you just like plug in, but it's actually set into the counter. So I have that set up. Now, so those are the things that I'll look for, and I have an agent in Florida that I will, when I find a property, I'll just put an offer without looking at it. Have I done this before? No. Am I putting myself out there? Yes. Because I'm going to find properties, take a look at them, take a look at the rents, and then some of the costs, and then I'll put an offer in. And I probably won't go actually that deep into it, honestly, because I'm not going to, there's no sense of wasting my time until I get an offer accepted. So I will go through and find some ones that I like and put offers in, and then wait and see and put more offers in, and then wait and see and put more offers in until something gets accepted. And I'm going to offer a discount. Like, I didn't see the fucking property. Plus, it's going to be an investment for me. So a lot of them are going to get turned down. A lot of them are going to say, fuck you, that's a ridiculously low offer. Why would I do that? You have to be okay with that. And your agent has to be okay with that. Like, just be upfront with them. You know what I mean? If they're not comfortable putting in offers that are too low, or they try to encourage you the other way, if you want it to be an investment property, maybe you should talk to a different agent. Who cares if it's your mother's best friend or your uncle or something like that? If they don't want to do what you want, fucking get a different agent. And if you think that that's inappropriate, well, then maybe you shouldn't be investing in real estate. Okay, so that'll be the first thing. After I get an accepted offer, then... I'm gonna do a little bit of the rents while I'm also looking at the property, but not a tremendous amount. So I probably, depending on the property, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 30% discount on whatever they're asking. So if it's listed for $100,000, I'm gonna probably in the neighborhood of $70,000 to $80,000. So that there's some. Also, I'm gonna be looking at like the Z estimate. On Zillow. So a lot of agents will, or from my experience, seem to think that it's a bad indicator of the market value of a property. However, if you look at the research, I think it was maybe out of Wisconsin, the University of Wisconsin, and they took the selling price of a property and they put it relative to the estimate from Zillow, and the actual Z estimate was below the selling price, which just means that on average, whatever market they were looking at, I think they were looking at national data, but on average, the estimate on Zillow is actually below what the property sells for. So remember that you're going to have pockets where that's not going to hold across the country, but on average, if they were looking at the national data, on average, the Z estimate is below what the property actually sells for, meaning what somebody's willing to pay for it. So you can use the Z estimate as a great indicator for that. Now, I'll be using that along with the price that it's listed for to take a look at it. Because if you have the Z estimate, maybe I should make this into 3 separate videos, but if you have the Z estimate from Zillow, and that is, say, 150, and the property is listed for 165, if I can make money on it, that's different. So, like, primary objective is to make money. So if the rents were able to support it, I might be open to considering that. But most of the time, the vast majority of the time, you want, from my perspective, I want to be able to get in there with equity in the property. So if and a lot of times the banks will use like the Z estimate or some equivalent from whatever vendor they choose. So you can kind of gauge it off of that. But if you go in and you're already paying more than what the banks are going to view it for, that can cause some issues on the financing side of the table. And like, it's an investment, right? So you want to make money from this. So then I want to be able to pull out, if I can get, say if it's a $200,000 property and I can get it for 160, right? You might have to put in 37 offers or 86 offers before you get one accepted, right? So I get one for 160. It's worth 200. They decided to get out of it for whatever reason, and excuse me, now I have 40 grand of equity. So potentially, depending on the condition of the property, maybe I'll put in 10 grand on it. I'm at 170 because a lot of the stuff will probably be cosmetic. I mean, to put in a bedroom, right? If you've never done that, it's not that complex, and you can fucking YouTube everything, but it doesn't cost that much money. And even if you were to put in, say, a bathroom, like I've redone a bathroom myself. So if you're going to redo a bathroom yourself, it's not that much money. It's just not. Yes, it's going to be a lot more than a bedroom. And depending on how you do it and what you want to put in there, it's going to cost money, regardless. It's not like some people think that this is going to be, $14,000 to redo a bathroom. It's just not at all. Get a couple estimates and then you'll be able to see. But you'll have that one estimate that's like 26 grand to redo your bathroom, and then you'll have some other ones they'll be like, oh, 4 grand or 6 grand. Obviously depending on what you want. And remember, it's an investment property. Okay. So now that I've talked about the deal extensively, I feel like I should actually break this down into multiple videos. So I'm just going to briefly touch on these other ones, and I will get into some more of the details. Get the offer accepted, and then go through and do either a refinance on the property a few months later after it's rented out. Do the renovation, so add in the bedroom, add in a bathroom if need be, cut it apart, make a studio, whatever you want to do to add value to the property so that you can cash flow even more. Like, I want it to be cash flowing off the bat. So if it's like a $140,000 property and rents in the area are $1,500 for a 3-2, then what I will do, and you can make $200 on the property, I want to have some type of cash flow to begin with, and then go in and add that extra bathroom and or bedroom so that I can go from $200 to $800, $900. My objective with anyone is to be able to make it a bare minimum $500 per month in cash flow. Excuse me. That does not. Also, I'm super gassy right now. That does not include the tax benefits or the equity pay down on that. That's just the cash flow on that. Now, before this gets too long, rents. How do you analyze rents? There's 3 sites that I use. So Zillow, you can look at the rents or you can look at properties. So just look at rental rates within the area. So put in the address. A lot of times I'll have a Google Maps up and I'll have one where the property that I'm looking at is, and then I'll look at an area right around there for rental rates of whatever it is. If it's a 3-2, then you look up 3 bedrooms in the area and see how much they're renting for. And then I also like to look at Craigslist as another verification. And then I also use a website called Rent-O-Meter, and they will aggregate rental rates in the area surrounding an address you punch in, and then you could say 3 bedrooms and give it the address, and within like a 1 mile radius it tells you how much they're going for on average, so you get a better indication. And then you can kind of synthesize all that, because you might see, oh, I just looked at Zillow and I looked at on there and there was 3 of them on there for $2,400, $2,200, and $2,700. And then you look at Craigslist and you see something that's completely different, and then you look at Rent-O-Meter and you see that it's like between the two. You know what I mean? Like, it just gives you more data points to analyze the property. And then I can get into more detail on any one of these. Just let me know down below in the comments, because I am going to be doing these, and I'll probably do more videos on them as I'm finding more offers and finding more properties and putting in offers. Lastly, when I get that property accepted, or just having an indication of kind of what I want to do, at that point I will get a better understanding of how much I want to do to it and the costs associated with it. So if I'm going to add a bedroom, how much does that should cost? If I want to do a bathroom, how much is that going to cost? Well, you might not know. Okay, well, fucking look up the parts, right? Like, what are you going to do? Is it going to be a full bathroom? Is it going to be a powder room? How much does a toilet cost? How much does it cost to put in the plumbing? You know what I mean? You might have to make some calls. You might have to ask some people. Call somebody in your network. Ask around who else owns properties in your area. Ask a contractor. Like, get some estimates so you can get some at least understanding of these costs. You don't know what it is? That's okay. You can plan conservatively, but just get some fucking idea of what you're doing so you have at least a modicum of fucking knowledge going into it. And that's about it. But then you obviously have to synthesize that all together. So if you guys want to hear more videos about this, make sure you press that like button. And if you have any questions, or if you are in the Florida area, I might be down there in March at some point. So reach out to me on Instagram and say, "What's up?" Just like that. The link will be in the description. And if you do want to follow along with my journey of getting to $100 a day online, just make sure you press just make sure you press that subscribe button. And I tell you exactly what I'm doing and how I'm doing to get to $100 a day online. For the month of January, I made 77 cents per day. For the month of that was the month of December of 2018. For the month of January, so far, I'm at about 88 cents per day. So I've seen growth, right? You're like, Sam, that's less than $1 a day. This is true. I get that. You have to start somewhere. It's been about 2.5 months. 2.5 months, and I'm already making close to $1 a day, right? So if I can do that, you can do that for whatever it is that interests you. It's like I'm not sure when I'll get to $100 a day. Maybe this year, maybe next year. I don't know, but I'm willing to put in the work to figure out how long it'll take me to get there, and to just keep trying. And that doesn't work, and then you try something else, and that doesn't work, and you try something else, and then that doesn't work, so you try something else. That's how it goes with life, you know? Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Talk to you soon. Peace.